In the small, forgotten town of Blackwood, legends hung heavy in the air like fog, thick and suffocating. The most notorious of these tales revolved around Blackwood Manor, a decaying estate that loomed ominously on the outskirts of town. Built centuries ago by the enigmatic Count Victor Drackle, the mansion was said to embody the darkness of its master, who had vanished without a trace 100 years ago. Residents whispered stories, warning their children to stay close to home at night, lest they attract the attention of the Blood Count. Moniker as chilling as the winds that swept through the surrounding woods. Rumors of strange sightings accompanied whispered tales of blood offerings and sinister rituals. Those who dared approach the manor claimed to see shadows moving on their own, ghostly figures appearing at the windows, and even a thick mist that swallowed any light. Few who ventured close returned, and those who did were forever changed, speaking of nightmares that haunted them long after they fled. The lore fascinated Lisa Hart, a young investigative journalist known for her daring explorations into the supernatural. Armed with a camera and a stubborn determination, she journeyed to Blackwood, intrigued by the rich tapestry of fear woven around the estate. "This is going to be my big break," she told herself, her heart racing with excitement and anxiety as she neared the looming structure on a chilly autumn evening. As she parked her small sedan near the entrance, she felt a chill crawl up her spine, as if the very air around her had thickened with dread. Blackwood Manor sat amidst creeping overhead clouds, its Gothic architecture steeped in shadows. The heavy wooden door creaked open, easily, a welcome from the darkened interior, and she cautiously crossed the threshold. The atmosphere inside was stifling, as though the house itself was alive, breathing in the memories of its history. Shadows clung to the corners, flickering in the dim light filtering through grime-encrusted windows. Remnants of opulence were scattered throughout, tattered. Silk drapes hung limply from the walls, and a grand chandelier hung precariously over the hall, its crystal droplets gathering dust like the secrets of the manor. "Count Drackle," she called out, her voice echoing through the empty halls. "I'm here to uncover your story." Her words reverberated back, unanswered. As she explored the mansion, Lisa stumbled upon a library filled with ancient tomes. The air was thick with the scent of musty pages, and each book seemed to pulse with untold tales. Drawn to a specific volume bearing the Count's name, she blew the dust off its cover, revealing a thick leather-bound book adorned with intricate gold patterns. With a deep breath, she opened it, scanning through the pages filled with manic scribbles, accounts of dark rituals, and descriptions of a haunting hunger that defined the Count's existence. Suddenly, she heard it, a low, distant whisper, almost like the murmured confession of someone sharing a terrible secret. "Help me," it repeated, floating through the air, sending chills down her spine. "Who's there?" Lisa called, her voice now trembling slightly. The chilling atmosphere intensified, as if the very shadows were gathering to watch her, waiting for her next move. "Help," the whisper continued, close to her ear, breathy and desperate. Shadows swirled around her feet as she turned, her heart racing, and she saw a flicker of movement, a shadow, darting through the hallway beyond, trailing like smoke. Fueled by both fear and a relentless curiosity, Lisa followed the unraveling thread of the voice. Moving deeper into the mansion, the carpet squelched underfoot, damp and frayed, guiding her toward the east wing, an area rumored to be cursed, where the Count allegedly performed his foul rituals. As Lisa entered the chamber, she found herself in a dimly lit room lined with mirrors. Each reflection showed different versions of herself, but behind each image lurked a darkness that peeled away her very soul. She shuddered, unwilling to meet her own gaze. The whispers grew louder, echoing off the walls, filling her mind with confusion. "You seek the truth, but do you truly wish to find it?" the voice hissed, now resonant and filled with unsettling glee. "The truth will thirst for your blood." Lisa felt an overwhelming sense of dread crush against her chest. "What do you want from me?" she cried, backing against a cold mirror. Feed me your fear, child, the voice replied, now omnipresent, wrapping around her like a swarm of dark wings. Only then can you uncover the power that lies in blood. Suddenly, the air thickened, and before her, a figure began to form. First, it emerged as a mist, swirling and spinning until it took on the shape of a man, regal and terrifying, a pale silhouette, with crimson lips and eyes that glowed with dark desires. Count Victor Drackle stood before her, a chilling smile playing on his lips. At last we meet. I have awaited your arrival, Lisa Hart, he said, his voice dripping with seductive power. It sent shivers down her spine, locking her in his gaze. Who are you? She managed, voice barely above a whisper. I am what remains of this forsaken place, a guardian of the dark. You seek my story, yet it is entwined with your own, he replied, stepping closer, the shadows shifting in tandem with his movements. You crave the truth, yet the truth craves you. I'm not afraid of you, she forced out, though deep inside, her body trembled. A chuckle escaped his lips, a sound like rustling leaves in a graveyard. You should be, he taunted. Come closer. Let me show you the depths of despair. Without realizing it, Lisa stepped forward, drawn to the darkness emanating from him. It wrapped around her, filling every crevice of her being. Her heart pounded as visions flashed. Before her, her life spiraling into chaos, her fears becoming flesh, fears of loneliness, betrayal, and loss. They danced in the light of his eyes, tormenting her while she fought against the grasp of his powers. Do you see? The Count whispered, brushing his icy fingers along her neck. Your fear only serves to strengthen me, but succumb to my embrace, and you will know power beyond measure. Get away from me, she screamed, fighting the instinct to surrender to his call. I'll never be like you. You have no choice, my dear, he hissed, his fangs glistening in the flickering shadows. Your blood yearns for me, and the blood moon rises tonight. With a swift motion, he lunged forward, the shadows erupting around them. Lisa barely evaded, his grasp breaking free and bolting down the hall, desperation fueling her escape. She could hear his laugh chasing after her, echoing through the empty chambers like a haunting song. Run, little rabbit. You cannot escape your fate. As Lisa sprinted through the winding halls, the castle shifted around her, walls closing in, doorways vanishing, transforming her sanctuary into a sinister labyrinth. She felt the weight of the darkness pursuing her, feeding on her fear. The mirrors reflected twisted versions of herself, each beckoning her to stop, to surrender, to become one with the darkness. Bursting through a door that led to the castle balcony overlooking the surrounding woods, she halted breathless. The full moon hung in the sky like a sinister eye, illuminating the courtyard. Below, where townsfolk gathered, their faces twisted in terror, illuminated by the moon eerie glow. They too were transfixed by the shadowy figure that loomed near the castle, a silhouette of power, embodying the fear that tied them to this place. Help us. We are cursed, a villager cried, and the cry broke the trance for a moment. Lisa saw, hope in their eyes, and knew she had to do something to save them all. Count Drackle cannot be allowed to reign, she shouted, rallying her courage once more. I will not become your puppet. The Count's laughter filled the air again, reverberating through the night. You think you can stop me? Surrender or face oblivion. Oblivion is preferable to being a pawn in your twisted game. Lisa shouted, the resolve surging through her veins, drawing upon every ounce of strength. She turned toward the villagers, desperation igniting within her heart. You must break the hold he has over you. We can fight. They hesitated, but as the shadows reached toward Lisa, growing more tangible, one brave villager stepped forward, determination flaring in his eyes. We will stand together, shouted. One by one, they rallied, embracing the power of collective belief. As they united in a circle on the balcony, Raising their hands toward the moon, Lisa blurted, "Let our courage cast a light against this darkness." Their voices rose in unison, forming a barrier against the horrid shadow that surged toward them. Dracul's appearance flickered, a rapid transformation of fear and rage. The gathered villagers drew strength from one another, willing to confront the darkness that threatened their existence. "No," Dracal bellowed, launching himself toward them, but radiant beams of light erupted in response, connecting them like a network of hope. They held tight, as if forged by a force beyond comprehension. "Feel the light of our unity," one villager cried, his voice resonating with fervor. The shadows lurched backward as the overwhelming light surged, washing over them and dissipating the darkness. Lisa's heart raced as the energy pulsed through her, invigorating and empowering. The fear that had once threatened to consume her transformed into blazing courage. "Flee as dust into the night, Count Dracal," she called out, her voice a beacon of defiance. With a final scream of rage, the Count morphed into swirling shadows, lost to the overwhelming brightness that enveloped Blackwood Manor. As the light faded, Lisa stumbled back onto the balcony, breathless but exhilarated. She felt the warmth of the villagers surrounding her, the realization that fear could be conquered with unity, igniting their spirits. The curse had been broken. Touching the edges of the light had freed the souls trapped within, and turned the once vile castle into a mere shadow of its former self, a testament to resilience and togetherness. In the days that followed, Blackwood began to heal, the villagers unified in their efforts to reclaim their town. The manor, once a monument to dread, had transformed into an emblem of hope. Lisa penned her story, documenting the courageous stand against Count Dracal and how the townsfolk had become heroes in the face of unrelenting terror. It was a tale of darkness, challenged by light, of horror conquered by unity. Then she heard it, a soft, familiar voice entwined in the breeze, tinged with desperation. "Help!" Startled, Lisa shot up, glancing around her room. The shadows grew darker, their tendrils reaching for her with an insatiable hunger. "No," she hissed, shaking her head. "This is just my imagination." But deep inside her she felt it, the call of the shadows, the longing to surrender, to fear. It clawed at her insides, whispering that she was powerless. Determined to push back against the darkness, Lisa rose, clutching her camera tightly. She rushed downstairs, drawn to the light beckoning from the town square. Her fellow villagers, gathering in fear, their voices shaking as they spoke. As she stepped out, the oppressive atmosphere enveloped her. "What's happening?" she shouted, pushing through the throng. "A shadow," someone cried. "It's back." Panic erupted among the villagers, their faces pale as fear gripped their hearts once more. Lisa, breath hitched as dread coursed through her. She turned her gaze toward the manor, a dark silhouette shifted along the walls, curling like smoke, a figure that felt hauntingly familiar. "No," she murmured, stepping forward instinctively. "Not again." The flickering lights cast long shadows that danced along the cobblestones, and with each step, desperation rose within her. "We can't let it take us again," she called out, raising her camera to capture the shadows before her. Together, the villagers gathered, fear etched in their expressions. They remembered their previous victory and the unity that had brought them forth. Lisa turned to face the dark silhouette now. Closer, words caught in her throat. Could they do it again? Suddenly, that hauntingly recognizable laugh echoed across the night, stirring a collective shiver. "Once more into the fray, my dear villagers." Count Dracul's voice resonated with a dark, mocking energy. "Did you truly believe you could keep me from my home? Stand firm." Lisa shouted, the resolve seeping into her. "He thrives off our fear." As if on cue, the shadows lunged forward from the manor, a chaotic surge that rippled through the air. Panic cascaded through the villagers, but Lisa recognized the moment. They needed to unite again. "Raise your voices. Confront the darkness," she commanded, courage igniting the hearts of the townsfolk. Lighting their torches, they formed a semicircle, the fire creating a barrier against the abyss closing on them. Vladislaus appeared in full form, eyes glowing like crimson coals. "You think fire can harm me?" he mocked, swirling in the thick haze. "I am darkness incarnate." But Lisa felt the whispers of the villagers rise, bolstered by their previous victory. "I call upon the spirits of those who fell, the strength of the town, and the light that guides us," she yelled. As the torchlight flickered with newfound intensity, the villagers joined their voices, echoing a chant of defiance. "In light we stand together. We are the flame that cannot die." In that moment, the darkness recoiled, the shadows swirling in confusion, and Lisa pushed forward, drawing upon the strength garnered from her name, her determination coalescing into a radiant spear of light. "This ends tonight." With a powerful thrust, she aimed the light she had conjured toward the heart of the swirling shadows. The brilliance pierced through the darkness as screams erupted from the Count, reverberating in the air like shattering glass. "No, you cannot destroy me. I am eternal," he cried, but his voice faltered as the light engulfed him, burning away the darkness that had long held him hostage. Lisa felt the warmth envelop her, cocoon of safety. It surged through the villagers like electricity, their collective power illuminating the night air. The blinding flash consumed the shadows sweeping across the town of Blackwood, piercing through its historic fears. In a final surge, the darkness shattered like a mirror, scattering into numerous fragments that danced into the night before being whisked away by the wind. For a moment, silence reigned. The night felt different, lighter, free of haunting shadows. Breathless, Lisa fell to her knees, tears streaming down her face. "It's over," she whispered, the reality of their victory settling over her in gentle waves. The townsfolk erupted into cheers, gathering around Lisa, their faces painted with relief and gratitude. They had faced the darkness together, their fears, their strength woven into resilience. In the days that followed, Blackwood rebuilt, and with Lisa's insistence, they transformed the manor into a sanctuary where they could share their stories and ensure that future generations remembered the darkness they had faced. They reclaimed their power, etching their triumph into the history books. As she stood at the edge of the manor, gazing into the sunset where the last traces of day melted into the horizon, Lisa felt an overwhelming sense of peace. But deep down she understood that even with victory, the echoes of darkness would forever linger, reminding them to remain vigilant. Under the blood moon one last time, she whispered a prayer for the lost souls, the ones who had suffered at the hands of Count Drackle. "We will remember you," she vowed, glancing one last time toward the manor's crumbling towers, now softened by twilight. And behind her, the promises made, a silent sentinel in the dark.